In this video, I'm going to show you how to make window covers for your Tab 400, and it also will fit, obviously different sizes, but you can use these on your Tab 320 and the Tag and also the Little Guy Max and the Mini Max. So this is something I thought I would never do, but I'm going to show you how to sew them. And I'm going to do something that's a little different. I'm not sure very many people have done it. So make sure you watch to the end for the big reveal. I'm going to wash this fabric, even though it's polyester. You don't have to wash this because there's not going to be any shrinkage, but just for y'all who want to sew this correctly, it'll make it a lot softer and it will get rid of the sizing in the fabric, so it will be less stiff when you're sewing it. Okay, I have everything cut out. So make sure when you're doing your measurements, whatever camper you have, that you add 1 inch to the measurements. So on mine, there's the measurements, and then I've added an inch. You want to add an inch to the length and an inch to whatever height you have, because you're going to have 1/2 inch seam allowances on both sides. Does that make sense? So you're adding 1 inch to every measurement. Okay, so what I've done, this is for the kitchen window in the Tab 400, and I have the right sides of the fabric together, okay, because you're going to be making, these are reversible. You don't have to make them like this, but it's just, to me, I think it's a lot easier. You're going to have your little straps on here, so you're going to put elastic straps, and this is just one of the patterns that I found. I think this might be pretty easy. And so there's my 1/2 inch mark. You don't have to mark it. If you want them rounded on the corner, you can just get a masking tape roll and put the masking tape there. Let me show you, and then just mark it. Okay, so you can just put the tape there and make your mark. And this is what it looks like with the corners rounded, and I snipped the edges because that makes it a lot easier when you're folding it right side out to not be so bulky. And then don't forget the elastic is going to be on the inside, because this is right sides together. So there, that's the right side and the right side. And the elastic is going to go in that middle part, and you're going to sew that. Okay, and you're just going to sew as per your machine, just the 1/2 inch all the way down. And watch your seam, don't watch the needle, as my sewing instructor once told me. And a quick note, I did increase the size of the stitch length. So just do some practices and see what works best, but it's probably best you don't use a tiny little stitch. When you're sewing down the sides, okay, you've got your 1/2 inch. When I'm sewing the elastic, so remember the elastic's inside here, so you can see it on both sides, because when you turn it in the right sides out, then that elastic's going to be on the outside. But what I'm doing is I'm sewing a double stitch, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can get it on video. I'm just going to back up. If you know how to sew, then you know what I'm talking about. But most machines, see if I can get the light, see that little button right there that has the little upside down U? That's a back stitch, and you want to go over this a couple of times to make sure that's really strong in there, because that's going to be pulling, right? So hopefully, if it's not too large, I hope this fits. And so just make sure you do a double stitch on top of that. Here, let's see if I can get it where my hand's not in the way. And you're going to do, just go slow. It's no big deal to go slow. Okay, and then you're going to push, see if I can get it on the camera. Push the little button, and that makes you go backwards. Okay, so I got to keep pushing it. I can't do it with 2 hands, or I can't do it with 1 hand. So push it, and it makes it go backwards, and you'll do a back and front, do that little reinforcement stitch. Okay, y'all want to see what my big surprise is that I'm doing differently? Yes, I'm watching Nomadic Ramblers live. I just paused it in my sewing room. Okay, you ready? Dun, dun, dun. I'm adding Reflectix. I think this is going to work. This is the back stargazer window, and I have my little Velcro things on there. Okay, so it's open on the bottom, And I've already done the long window, Gemma's window, which is the front. And then I have, and this reflecting stuff is really inexpensive. I was shocked. So I'll cut that little corner right there. And then instead of sewing this in here or tacking it or basting it, I think this is gonna work if I just kind of free float it because it fits. And what I'm gonna do, and I did this on the other one, is I go ahead and turn the right sides out, and this stuff is flexible enough where it just fits up in there. I think this is gonna work. I might leave the bottom edge unfinished and just put a like Velcro tabs on there. So if I do want to remove this, then that's no problem and I can wash the covers. So we'll have to see how this works because that y'all know how bright the sunshine gets. So we'll see how it works. I don't know if anybody's ever done this or not, but I'm gonna try it. Are we ready for the big reveal? Dun, 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 dun. They worked. I like it. That's got the Reflectix inside of it. And I did end up just finishing the bottom with a, just almost like a hem stitch. That'll be very easy if I need to undo it. I didn't want to do a machine stitch and I just hand stitched that. If anybody has these, what's the easiest way to get that connected to the top? I mean, I obviously did it from the inside, but as y'all know from maybe some of my other videos, my window has always been off. I mean, you can even see there, it's not level, and I had them work on it under warranty, and it's still actually messed up. It's never been 100% correct. But anyway, I've got the Reflectix on there, which I like. And then the side window does not have the Reflectix on there because this is not a dog window. And I just wanted to see, the difference. This one I might change just because I'm very particular about my sewing. I can see that this little elastic strap could be moved just a little bit because if you can see up in there, it's hitting that mechanism. So the pattern was 3 inches and 3 inches over from the corner, but I think it needs to be more like 2 inches from that outer edge. But this will be nice to block the sun. And a very easy on, very easy off. Let me show you the front one. This is Gemma's window. I like it. I really like it. I wasn't sure if I would. And let me show you what it looks like from the inside. It's kind of interesting how it looks different. The one with the Reflectix and one without the Reflectix. So let me show you, hold on. So with the Reflectix, you see that inside pattern. Okay, so that obviously blocks everything. But then look at the one without the Reflectix. You see the flowers through that, obviously, because there's nothing in between, which I think that's kind of neat looking. And, oh my gosh, I think I said it earlier, but I am one to make very slow decisions. Oh, that's Bella. And going in there at 5:45 and they, walk in the door and they said, we're closing in 15 minutes. It made me make a decision. And I looked at something very monochromatic, black and white flowers. Let's see what this looks like. See how you can't see through it. But it forced me to grab something, which was good. So for people wondering, because I wondered the same thing, like, why would you want this? Because you can obviously put your sunshade and you can obviously put the blackout screen, but then you don't have really a lot of the airflow. I mean, even with the screen, it does block the airflow. And sometimes when the sun is just right, it's very, very, very hot. So this is a nice way to have the window open and block the direct sunlight coming in. And you can still see outside and, do what you do. I mean, obviously I could open a lot more. But I think, and these will roll up. I just tied it with some fabric. I think they roll up really nice. And just keep them on the bed when I'm traveling. I like it. So I don't think I might not put Reflectix on that. Here on the inside, you can see how they kind of stay on. And I probably would not trust this in 40-mile-an-hour winds. They'd probably end up a long way away. But I like them. And I know what some people are going to say. That's so flowery and that's so obvious that you're a female camping. Well, you know what? I am a female camping. And I don't care. What? I'm a female leaving the grocery store. I'm a female at a parking lot. I mean, what the hell? Come and take it. You'll meet two little nice barrels in your face, if you know what I mean. Or two dogs. I like it. Yay. I'm officially an RV nerd. And if you have any questions on how to sew these or how to make them or anything, just pop it in the comments and I'll be glad to answer your question. I can send you my email. But I hope these instructions helped you. It's kind of a trial and error, even though I did have a somewhat of a pattern. And again, I might change that because that's gonna bug me.